Shoba. Is it? I'm very sorry, sir. I also want to also recognize very importantly Abu Sama Muka, who I think they have outed me because I was his keynote speaker earlier in the year. I also want to also recognize my host, Eze Anamba, the president of the gate. I think I'll just say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are all friends and colleagues. I want to say, first of all, I'm very grateful for the opportunity given me to speak to you this afternoon. When I got the invitation, I did not fully appreciate the enormity or the size of the event. And when I came in last night, I was completely overwhelmed with the caliber of persons I met on ground. I'm very grateful. It's a very huge platform, and I fully appreciate all of you. And when you came this morning, you saw my picture outside. And some people were asking if I was going to contest as president of the guild. Actually, that was also a surprise to me, because NACCIMA, which I'm fortunate to lead, we are in 72 locations in Nigeria, in every city, state, every major city. And that was the coup by my honorable, due to me, Komonibo, who was our past president of the NACCIMA here. Please stand up so that they know it's you. I wasn't involved. He's also president of the South Chambers of Commerce, and also a member of the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce. And I also have my chief host here, who is Nobo Akenge, who is the incoming president for NACCIMA, also for the Yenagoa Chamber of Commerce. Then I have several other delegations of my members. So anybody you see that is not wearing a tag, you know I smuggled them in, please. So I did my first smoking session using this opportunity. On a lighter note, I'm very grateful. I think we should just go straight to the business of the day, because there's a lot of time has been taken. I actually prepared a PowerPoint presentation, and when I got here, people are very intelligent as journalists. You decide you can take everything, but what I've done is I've shared the papers with Mr. Charles, so that if you have a platform, you can easily share so that all of you can have it. Because some of the PowerPoint has pictures so that you can actually understand why we are where we are. And you have heard the other version earlier. So this is the version from the people. We are in the industry that are most affected by these policies and what they do. I will start with the introduction. I will put there to just simply thank you for the opportunity. And to also let you know, some of you here may not know exactly what NACCIMA is. It's the apex chamber of commerce in Nigeria. We have cities, states, bilateral and multilateral chambers of commerce. When we say city states, like Lagos Chamber is just one of my 72 members. Then we also have, Lagos is a city chamber. Ekiti State is a state chamber. Then the bilateral chambers is Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, Nigerian Turkey Business Council, and so that even when you talk, and then we also have the multilateral and several other organizations. We have insurance companies, we also have some of the big 500 companies from the Dangote Boa as our corporate members. So it's a very huge organization. And if you are truly interested in foreign direct investment, we are part of a global chain of the World Chamber of Commerce Conference. And that is why we do everything about investment. And our company realizes the value of chamber when they're outside Nigeria. That's why when they go outside, they go to a Chamber of Commerce office. But when they are here, they form NSG, they form MAN, they form all sorts of things so that they can use it to do their work. But we have stayed focused. We don't back to any person because we are investors in the system. If the government succeeds, we make money. If they make mistakes, we suffer. So it's better to tell them the truth so that we can always make sure that the policy will speak truth to power. And that is why I'm not an activist, but the second time I find myself, as I discover this recently that the way I talk, I'm beginning to look like one. But I'm a very big usual person. I have several businesses and I also have several investments. But then I can never see something go wrong. No matter how rich you are, if the poor man cannot eat, you are not safe. That's the truth. So, and I always tell them you cannot eat dollars. Because we are making profit. And see, one of them that sat them today told me that when he saw a snippet of paper, he said he's going to hold my brother that I won't deliver it. So I told him I'm happy you are leaving. But on a lighter note, I'm very grateful. I appreciate the opportunity. So on the opening, I've acknowledged the courage of Mr. President reform. So those of you that are friends here, let them know that I said, please let me commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration for the audacity for the reforms he has made. The Honorable Minister of Information has repeated everything I have about the reform. The only thing I didn't have was the consumer credit, and which I also give testimony is working, and I'm aware. And I've talked about enhanced revenue, support for youth, the issue of housing initiatives, and all that, agricultural growth and food security. I was also talking about the minimum wage. But unfortunately, that 15 states have not yet complied. As at, the president started paying for the 1.2 million federal civil servants. The 15 states are yet to pay the minimum wage. So please, I will appeal to you as our editors to appeal to them. Because even the money has still disappeared before they got it, you know. And so, but at least let them have a feel so that we can move. Then Mr. Charles, I appreciate if you can send to Mr. President and so that they can follow us. I started by saying, what are the adverse effects of these policy reforms? How does it affect you? Like they did in America, are you better off today than you were last year? Who is better off than today than last year? Here. Nobody. The answer now, so that it's not a speech. I want us to have something to talk about. So if we are not better off, what are the issues? The issue is there's been acknowledged by the World Bank that sometime from this probably about 6-year report they made up to 2024, they said about 56% of Nigerians live under the poverty belt. In fact, when the fuel price was removed on the May last year, a lot of Nigerians moved into poverty because they could not afford some of the things they used to afford. And you know, rise in price or inflation is a form of tax. It's a form of, anytime you go and buy, you are paying more than you used to pay. It's a form of tax. And it's the duty of government to make sure its policies do not upset the price mechanism. So we've shown that the source of that information is from it's on African AFP October 20. It's a World Bank report which they gave this year about Nigeria, saying there is hunger and that the government should find a way to deal with the issue of the vulnerable. And in your letter to me, you mentioned 15,000. I didn't want to mention in this paper so that I won't be upset myself that there's a cash transfer. I think they mentioned 25,000 today. That is very unfortunate. Because from the airport to this place, I paid 20,000 to the hotel. So if I got 25,000 from the government after filling several forms, I can't even pay for my transport to this place. So these are the challenges. If we need to do anything, it should be in a sustained way. But one of the main reasons why we are where we are is the mismanagement in the oil and gas sector. If you don't know the impact of that, no matter whatever you do, whether you are exporting or whatever, when Kyari comes in, he hits you with the boom, $1 billion, $2 billion. All the effort in other sectors, just like using basket to fetch. And this man is not elected. In fact, he appropriates more money than our National Assembly at times. He's done about $8.86 billion of oil, crude oil for loans. What it means is the government uses our natural resources to go and borrow money. A very good one was the one mentioned by Afroesi, where they got the 3.something billion. And they took that loan, what was the reason? To show up the Naira. By then, Naira was $1,000 to, 1,000 Naira to $1. The last tranche was just paid recently. So if the money was actually used to cushion the dollar, why are we where we are? You should be asking these questions. You are the editors. You don't talk about it. You write once and you let it go. And I'll teach you one thing today. We are talking about sustainability. If the people are truly behind you, they will still go and read your papers. When the big men will be on the internet, those people you see, medium size average, they will buy because they know they will get the right information from you. So if you want to stay relevant, you must talk about issues. I'll give you an example how you keep that kind of information going. When Dele Kelvin was killed, you put a small column in the newspaper and say, who killed Dele Kelvin? So even if you did not kill it, you will see it every day. So all of us were conscious of that. So when you write about NPC, you hide it inside your newspaper, you don't talk about it anymore. Then you live with the problem. I'm not saying we are waging war against any person. Then the person, what he's doing affects all of us in a very fundamental way. We have a right to ask. So if you look at what they call those transactions, you see the names they gave, it's as if you are going to war. They call it Project Panther, Project Bison, Project Eagle Export, Project Gazelle. I don't understand all this. What I'm trying to say, these are the names they give to all these funding mechanisms. And both the IMF and the African Development Bank has warned that using resources to back loan is very difficult if there is a dispute. First of all, it's not transparent, it's opaque, because when you are doing like that, I don't know the details, but we've tried to ask, we've written from the chamber to find out how many oil they are going to take from this. But in that 90 report, which was published by one of you, Punch, I must commend Punch for the publication, you said a total of 272,500 barrels a day were to be taken for this $8.86 billion. How did you calculate the rate? At what rate of the oil? So there's always a law of hedge that if the rate goes down, so they take much more than the current value. And it's not fair. Who made the determination? Only the National Assembly can appropriate our money. Whether you are a government agency or not. I'm aware when you go to Federal Executive Council, they even approve sometimes money as low as $2 billion. I said, this is a whole, the minister, everybody. If one person sits in his office and currently pursuing another $2 billion oil for this thing loan. So please, we should have the details. I'm not accusing him that he's doing anything untoward. But if you are going to use me, because I hear they say that they are not private sector, you can only be private when you get shareholders to buy shares and take over and don't touch our assets, our national assets. I'll choose it later in the paper, I'll tell you why you should be interested in your own affairs. Instead of complaining every day about president, you yourself, you are small Tinubus, you're all right. You have a right to find out information. And if all of you write, they will listen. We will write, they don't ignore us. Sometimes we have to go to the government and enforce them, but they don't really give up. If you put in this one, they are very conscious of this. So please, I'm actually in one hole where I eventually became a news anchor because the way I find them every day over these oil issues, and I think the MPC is fully in charge of that but I don't give them any breathing space. So I've mentioned to you that this thing is not transparent, it's opaque. The size of what is involved should be a thing all of us should be involved in. And recently, which is most annoying, there is one man called Jinda, he's even my friend from India. There was an announcement a few days ago by the Minister of Gas that the man wants to come and do investment of $4 billion in steel. So Nigeria now has gone to him to say he can lift equivalent of 4 billion worth of gas. So when Dangote wanted to build a refinery in Senegal, I did not see a similar transaction. A cement plant where the Senegalese government had to give off something for that. That type of transaction, the National Assembly ought to appropriate it. It is opaque. It is not fair to Nigeria because there is no mechanism for determining what if the man take the $4 billion of gas and he builds a $100 million refinery for you, or whatever. A gas plant which they are planning to do. So this type of things, they come here and take us for cheap. There is no independent person in the room where the decisions are taken. These people are not even elected. They are just government officials. They are not the people we voted for. So they don't have the right to appropriate our resources The reason why you are complaining about the price of fuel, price of this, these are the things. The basket is being used to fetch your water. So you have a duty, you have a right to have a sustained inquiry about how your resources are being dealt with. So please, that gas one is still in the offering. I've asked my friend that what are you trying to do? He's laughing. I said, this is don't be laughing, we'll talk. So this is what I'm trying to say. We have to do. I mentioned poverty, I mentioned the mismanagement of our own resources. Then we also have the issue of the failure of the NAPC to recognize the importance, the macroeconomic importance. The Dangote refinery is not just a refinery. It will solve our foreign exchange problem. It's not only PMS. About 40% of foreign exchange demand in Nigeria is people in the oil and gas sector. In fact, they give the name of their mala. As you are buying, they pay to mala. Mala is changing every day. So if you remove that pressure from us, in the naira to naira coup that has been done, you will see that the huge demand for the foreign exchange will come down, and maybe the other industries can now benefit, and the pressure will come down, and you see the dollar sliding down. You will ask myself, why am I talking about forex? And they now told us, which is the most, and this IPMA, I don't know, some of them are actually my members, and I've told them that I'm disappointed. How can you have something in Nigeria? You say you prefer to import. You remember when our former governors were telling us that you don't keep any money in the reserve? Let's spend everything. This is the same thing we are seeing now. And you people are keeping quiet. If man says they can get it to Nigeria cheaper, and I asked one question, Vito and Trafigura, these are one of the biggest oil buyers all over the world. They have been lifting about 70% of Dangote to go and sell in Europe. So if our brothers are going to buy from Europe, two things involved. Either the quality is fake or off-spec, or it's Russian oil, or the oil they are using to do these loans that they have been collecting since they are recycling it back to us. So you have to ask, what is the source? Because if something you can buy in Bayelsa, made in Bayelsa, so it becomes more expensive than the one you buy in Lagos. The one in Lagos, there must be something in it. So that they're bringing witchcraft to take you out. So ask. So please, I want to prepare you today because we have to start the movement. This is not about just being a reporter, it's about sustainability. Issues of huge issues about resources, someone says it's good. So where are they going to get the dollar they are going to use? They go to the same market where me and you are already complaining the price is high and inflate it. So it affects you. This is not precedent. This is about some greedy people who are only looking at their own sources. So please ask. So I've mentioned that these are the things that are creating all the problem. And even Mr. President has directed about almost 5 times. You will see when you get the paper, you see the picture, everything, so that I put all the evidence. Everything I'm saying here, if anyone think I'm lying, I have the evidence, I'll show you. So then, I actually really use about 80% from your newspapers. You're reporting to know how important you are. But when you report once, you stop. Those days you move from, you are in the same club. When you report today, tomorrow you guys are the editorial. The next day you put it at back page. When they see it, they will come and call you and say, please, why this is the problem? You have to find a way to go to defend Nigeria. So this is one of the issues. They fail to recognize opportunities. Then in the solid mineral sector, incidentally, I'm currently involved in something. I've not yet submitted a report. If not, it's a very incredible story of how the confusion in that sector, one of the best solid minerals business in Nigeria, it has almost been undertaken in a way that there's complete confusion about the scope of the federal government power and that of the state and even local governments. It's not only the Chinese who are fighting them, there are other forces. Because the states are using land use act, that the land is in my state. So when you finish your mineral act 2007, finish your constitution, your land is in my face. I must register the premises, I must do this. You know, these confusions are ongoing in very serious crimes. And there's a lot of confusion there. I'm hoping when we submit our report, we're able to find a way where there could be a proper protocol which will be established. Either they will, because there's an amendment going on in the Minerals Act now, so that we can either insert it or at least find a way that there should be a way the state will know that this is where they are going. In one of the issues involved what I'm talking about, there's an issue of withholding tax. Those of you that are familiar with tax, withholding tax is a tax the person at the point of collection collects on behalf of federal government. So why do you want to die over federal government money? When if truly it's really a dispute, why are you fighting using magistrate court order to close down the mine? We all know that they don't have jurisdiction. These are the challenges. And things like this is the highest form of corruption, which you must expose to stay relevant. It's very important. The kind of message you carry, as some of you have started writing about Equatorial Guinea. I'll fish you out today. So instead of focusing on Bobrisky, you should write about things like this. Because Bobrisky is for social media. You should write about serious things. These are fundamental issues. So then we also have the issue of the increased exposure to the World Bank. We have made it under this regime and we are not number 3 in the world. Our current borrowing is about $14.3 billion. I think we should clap for ourselves. So this is the first time we are number 3 in the world. And painfully, in all this, if you notice, there are 2 people giving Nigeria money. World Bank, IMF, and Afrezi. Have you? And the World Bank is always praising Nigeria. Those 2 boys, they write stories as if it's written by the Nigerian government. I'm sorry, I'm not accusing, but find out. They will say it's bad, but however, we have made this progress. The problem was that of the former regime, and the regime created so much chaos, but they are gains. But do vulnerable assistance by cash transfer or whatever. So this kind of praise. I saw something very interesting, which I said if you have seen the paper. You know what Samora Machel said? He said, if one day you hear the Europeans praise me, know that I have betrayed you. You know, Obasanjo just said, when the World Bank comes to you, listen to them. Praise them, but don't take their advice. Show me anywhere in the World Bank or IMF have succeeded. They cause chaos, confusion. What they are prescribing for you, if you increase tax on gas in UK for £1, there will be a riot. But they come here and say, do it 15,000 times. And people are sitting here. You tell them, these people that are advising you, they have no business. One time, somebody wrote about Nigeria from America or something. I told him that somebody like Trump, if he's a candidate in my country, he will be the asylum. You have no business telling me how to live in my country. So it's very important that you protect Nigeria. All the things we are losing is because some of us are asleep. At the chamber level, there's a limit to which I can talk. And I'm heavily sanctioned by the authorities. When they put my name and say, this guy is, you can't convince him, he knows too much. That's what they say. I don't care. Some of us are work out a little bit, we can feed ourselves now, so we don't need anything really. But what is important is, it's never about you. You have something now. If you don't protect yourself now, you will be relevant tomorrow. You know that. So you must fight this fight and let them know that anytime this will praise them, tell the IMF guy that we are aware of this type of praise. Our uncles from my church said, anytime you praise me, I've sold myself. That's it. So we now go to the key problems of the administration, this administration. What are the problems? One of the biggest problems the government, I'll tell you the truth, which I've told them, they take very impactful decisions without changing stakeholders' engagement. What I mean by that? If the central bank wants to make a decision, you call all the bankers as their regulator, or the MPC want to make a decision and call all the oil companies, can any of them really challenge you? When I know I can take your license and you have nothing to go back to, you call Dele, or you call organizations like yours, who are independent consumers, who can ask the real questions. So this is the challenge. All decisions are made without any involvement. And you know, in government appointment, it's 90% patronage. It's never about who's really qualified. It's whether who your father was, your uncle, or maybe the man know you, or someone recommended you. So there is no proficiency. There is no. I'm not saying people appointed are incompetent. No. I'm saying that it's not a merit-based system. There's no advertisement for the job. All of us will apply. And that's why they drop ministers. Then they say when they see that the man body is smelling too much in the cabinet, they say, this one may stay in your house, don't come again. You are causing problem for all of us. I am not saying an advice way. So this is the challenge. So that's why you must never trust government appointees until they show you what they are doing. And 90% of decisions are taken by people, very junior, inferior people who are even put in a position where they don't have the competence. Because when they are hiring you now, they can tell you to go and manage the hospital. Even if I don't know anything, you have to where to enter. But when you enter the theater, I'm thinking that is the best part of don't know that they are coming to knife someone. So what I'm trying to say, this is why you want to be very suspicious when they tell you they have fish out of the ask them, let's see the process. Where's the advert? Who were the people that take this show? What were the studies that were taken? So this is the challenge. So we have the issue of the poor management of the exchange rate. This is the main cocoa that affects all of you here. You will say, I'm just a journalist, I'm not a banker, why should I be interested in exchange rate? That is the beginning and end of Nigeria. The exchange rate problem affects every sector. And a good example of how it affects every sector is the one report for your power problem, for your everything, fuel, everything is priced in foreign exchange. So what happens when it goes up? You try to buy a fridge, even the woman in the market now. Then they say they keep their money for it and say, you know why? Because they don't know whether the naira will fall again. So even the people who have no business keeping money in FX, they keep it. It's a way of edging yourself. So you change small today, the money will play it again. Because tomorrow the price might fall again. So if you want, I can tell you that in May 29, when the government took over, there was $29 billion in domicile account in Nigeria. What that tells you is that the money to use to solve Nigerian problem was in Nigeria. What was the central bank supposed to do? You create policies that make people lose money if they keep FX. That's all. It's a policy thing. If you do that, like what they're trying to do now, by saying those that kept some of our money abroad, they can bring it now, and that they will not say so, but there's no structure. If you bring your own, you have to sit down with the Attorney General, put a structure, put an indemnity, and put it that if any government ever wake up and ask you any question, the federal government will pay you in America in dollars. So that way, it will be difficult for a future government to change that policy. This policy is unique everywhere. That's how Turkey developed. But in Turkey, they said if you have money like this, I'm also the chairman of the Turkey Business Council. So he said if you have any money abroad, we know you are all thieves. You bring it back, keep a percentage for government, and the remaining is yours. But if you don't bring it back, anywhere you are in the world, will come and kill you. Everybody started coming back. And that's how Turkey developed. So these are our own in the newspaper announcement. There's no procedure, there's no rules of engagement. I tend to take it up with the Attorney General so that I can support them, because whether you like it or not, this is our country. It's not about whether you like the government or you hate the government. If you don't fight for this country, you will go to another place and be a slave. Come and see our children at Japan, the way they are cleaning toilets. And you think that toilet as if they are walking, cooking stew. Yeah? So you don't need that. At our age, which toilet can you clean? Ask yourself, you go to Japan this day. When that cold enter you, the pneumonia will bring you back next week. So please, since we are too old to Japan, let's make this place better. So all the thing I'm trying to say is never about government, it's about us. I'm talking to you. You are not doing enough. You guys are not doing enough. But the government are well organized. Very organized. And if you look at all your friends like government, you know they look better than you have. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. You know, even their perfume is better than yours. And each of you here, if you hear that I'm chairman of a bank now, you write me to say, don't you need a press secretary? So, you know that it's not the issue of competence. It has to, it's a survival mechanism. But you can make your own place, your own heaven. See what you guys is doing. I'm not saying everything is all right, but at least you can see the forays, the effort, different things. You have to, if you do only one thing, this thing you are writing, your barrel will break your heart. You have to find a way. It's called a side hustle. I'm sorry, sir, I know the owners are here, sir. I'm just trying to get them, instead of taking your money, they can be able to make some for themselves and survive. So, this poor money of our foreign exchange, when this government came in, Who can remember how much it was? If you remember when I got the right on May 29, I owe you a gift. I'm the president of NACCIMA. This is my brother, so be careful. So it was 470 kobo. That's 470 kobo. No, this I know what they buy for black market. I don't know why. Okay. What is it today? In black market. Because me, I don't know about that white market. I've never used it. It doesn't work for me. They only give it to people they know. I've not yet reached that level of knowledge. So I'm with you. We're in the same. Most of the SMEs buy from balance. So today, at least as of yesterday, it was 1,735. 1,735 to 1. So what it means is as you are sitting here, you are getting poorer, poorer, poorer. And if you are not making money in dollars, you are a poor man. I'm telling you, by every dimension in Nigeria today. That is the truth. So you have to find a way. Structure your businesses, get online, get those platforms, and get all your village people, even the witches in your village, to click and like it so that you can get something in effect. I'm serious. I didn't say those village witches should actually apply it. I'm just saying that you should take it. So this exchange rate is our biggest disaster. It's the big carry is using basket to fetch whatever we collect. But the man is central bank. Don't know what he's doing. If you hire somebody to take off your business and he has crashed your business to this extent, you still keep keeping him for what? So they can kill us? No. You assess people by performance. I've sat down with him and I said, look, this thing will not work. If that was the bulk of my teaching when I went for the Vanguard, I showed you them that the kind of this thing we are using is not working for us. We are not in that club. Qatar is not using it. China is not using it. Nobody's selling their money like bazaar, like where we sell. And they come to tell you it's sustainable, it's international. So okay, fine. If the government want to be doing international salary is $3,000. Start from there. Is it only to pay Oye international? You also pay me international salary. Let's start from there. You can't be one way. It can never be one way. You pay for, you are abandoned, you pay 100%. What does government stand for there? What are they doing? There's no security, there's no water, there's no light in 3-4 months in Bayelsa. The whole safety state know there's no light there. What are they doing? Let's ask ourselves. If they are so good, why is everything crashing? Why is one man sitting like a tailor, carrying our $8 billion worth of oil and sharing it to his friends? This is what we are seeing. And you are here, you are writing about Bobrisky. It works. Do you know a company called MTN? You expect them to be enjoying, I mean? MTN, as of 9 months this year, has lost 514.9 billion naira to FX depreciation. There are many of that Lafarge, everybody, even Dangote that you think is surviving, it too. So anytime you keep that is why people don't keep their money in naira. The reason why MTN has got to accumulate a lot of cash, before they transfer, they would have paid tax. Government doesn't have enough money to transfer. So what they do, they just keep it in the bank here. And they'll pay their foreign exchange content in their country, pay dividends, pay everything. At the time they want to transfer, the money has melted. It's like putting something in the whole room like this. You come back, it has come like this. You come again, it's going down. What do? You pick the remaining and rush and give to Mala. That is what all of us are doing. If I check all of you, me I did this small. All of us are betting against the naira. And anyway you bet against your currency, you lose. Venezuela. That's where we are going. Until the central bank is able to come with a policy that can make all of us voting dollar to lose money, we will not move back to that. As if this was not bad enough, when this government came in, They did not look into what happened during the Mayfele foreign exchange, change of Naira. I'll tell you, as president of NACCIMA, most of my northern chambers, Katsina, wherever, people come from as far as Libya to come and buy generators in Kano with Naira. Naira was a currency of exchange in the Sahel, the whole of West Africa up to Senegal. They take Naira from you. Even the Tanzania in Ghana, they take Naira from you. When you decided because you want to do election that is not useful to us, you know what I'm saying? Then you close the door, pull in all the Naira. After the election, people say we don't trust you anymore. CFA is now the grading currency. So there's a problem. So all that money that was doing business for us, improving people's lives, they were enjoying their economy ecosystem, over 3 trillion Naira, all came back as Naira. And the people are refusing to accept your God. They are not, in fact, the way it's falling every day like rain, you'll be a fool in any international business to do everything. I can tell you, we went to Qatar, the investment promised by the king, he never brought it. I've made twice. They said, go and keep it. If you like to keep it $5,000, keep it. But we're not going to do business. Every business organization talking to us, that's why I see most of the big companies are leaving. Because your currency is melting. Because you can sell today, tomorrow you cannot replace what you sold. That's the reality. So why do you seek you attract only Asian investors? They can play your game. They can reduce the quality. They can tell you the investment is $5 billion when it is $100 million. They know. They know your game. And most times, those of you that are close to any gem, I don't want to put anything, don't put this in the news, but they owe more than they are worth here. In fact, they borrow and transfer abroad. So when you are working with them, you have to have number 6 and 12. But our government likes to lock them in the room and they are worried to offer everything. There's nothing like that. Anytime what you are offering is cheap, the other person doesn't take you serious. And that's why you must have professionals independent in the rooms. And unfortunately, this government has refused to approve most of the boards. They say they are saving money. They've also refused to appoint that's the board of most of the parastatals. It's a one-man riot. They think one man, you are saving money, one man. Go and ask our Betaidu or go and ask Desiani what one person can do alone. So if you have more people in the boardroom, there is mix of ideas, the government get more balanced information, and those agencies are able to live up to their mandate. So this is a challenge, and we don't have ambassadors. I'll tell you, it's the biggest mistake this government ever made. There's no ambassador anywhere. They recall all of them. And in abroad, when they are doing ambassadors meeting, it does not matter we are head of the chancellery, you cannot attend the meeting if you are not an ambassador. I attended the US African Business Summit, but one other were signing with Gambia $2 billion from the USSC. Nigeria did not sign one kobo. We have to arrange a kind of party something to do as if we do. We are, you know, Nigeria to Nigeria, we are signing MOU. Have you not seen it on the news? When they went to China, Nigerian company go to China and sign MOU. So what happened to Nigeria? Nigeria saw it's too hard to sign it. So this is how bad it is. And you guys don't talk about it. So then there's this other issue which is very most painful even to me personally. That is the issue of government trying to be private sector. You know, they look at us as if we are inferior, but they can't try with me. I give you back. They try to be private sector. There was a minister that was so busy setting up business councils instead of doing her job. She was more interested in seminars instead of doing her job, instead of policy. And how do you get business councils? It's normally based on agreement between a national chamber in Nigeria and a national chamber in that country. That's how you get business councils. But this minister did so well, but everywhere he did, trust me, I'll write a letter to people that I don't know the people she put there. So they will ignore her. So this is how bad it is. Then there's nowhere a government office will not exist outside Nigeria. So if you do your conference inside the embassy, how can you go and do a conference with another conference chamber of commerce without your own chamber of commerce there? How many governments have come to Nigeria to do conference with me without coming to see our government? So you see, they think when they are head of business, then the people will respect. They want to be our medium. It's like in every marriage. After the priest marries you and shows up in the bedroom, you know there's problem in that marriage. That is what we have in Nigeria. The government wants to be there in fact, wants to tell you how to do your business, how to do the technical issue, how to do everything. But these guys, they never ran anything before they joined government. So why can you go think because you are now wearing one coat, you are now such a very vast person? This is the problem. There's a competence problem on their side, but they want to teach you. I always tell them, even if Dangote today leaves and becomes in government, it's not the same Dangote that was yesterday. Because you are taking a new job, you have entered a new company, there's a new culture, there's a new way you behave. Now you have policy, you have law. You cannot be on both sides. That's why in a hospital, you have patient and doctor. But what is happening is like the government, in a government hospital, the doctor will carry the nurse and say, let me prescribe something to you, even though it's not sick, so that they will show that they're having activity. That is it. That's how it looks when government is in business. Because they don't have the skill set, and they have our cash, which they are ready to put down, and that's what that person wants to collect, or our resources. So it's due for your duty to expose it. And if you expose it, you will see your people will start following you. So I have mentioned all this, but the most important issue I want to mention are two very important issues, which you take very seriously. It's a new dimension to how this thing is going. That is the ineffective taxation and spending policies of government. I hope you are aware of the fight in National Assembly now over VAT. The person that doesn't drink beer, they want to collect the... I'm sorry, I don't mean no disrespect because I know it's a national association, but it's part of the problem of Nigeria. And I think we should actually do real federalism. We're not without investing in the North, because whether I like it or not, at one time they were there for us. I'm not discriminating, but you must agree. All of us must agree to say, okay, we need to keep our resources and pay tax to the center. But because yours is not as developed like the man in Bayelsa, we will put this aside. And over whether it's 5 years, you have to have this discussion. But it is you that will lead it. If you're waiting for politicians, the system pays them now. They're not interested. Nobody wants to do reform. Because how can he get rid of himself? It's not going to happen. So let's start. I'm the business, you are the editor. Let's form partnership and start recruiting other people. Not to disrupt people for a worse situation, but to do something that is right for our country. So that we still have something. So that people that are not elected, who are busy issuing 8 billion worth of our money in one sitting, no matter whatever approval he gets, he does the memo. It is what you write down that is approved. It's not the one Dele is saying now. So it's still him. It's his idea. So we go to the issue of ineffective taxation system. It would interest you to know that in Nigeria, we pay one of the highest form of what we call implicit tax. I'm sure you heard Dr. Akinwumi talk about this. Implicit tax, have you ever been to Warri before, any of you? There's a place they call Uwe local government in Warri. If you are driving in that Uwe local government, within 3 minutes, you get 6 stickers. Different local government stickers. Maybe the one you are buying now is the one they stopped using last year. They will bring the one they did it 3 months. You just be buying until you run out of money. So what I'm trying to tell you is, we do what we call implicit tax. That is, we do our own infrastructure. In your house, the road in my house in Abuja, I did it. If you want to look at one thing, which I'm happy so my friend government here, every factory in Nigeria, go and check. The road to the factory is always bad. Go and check. Go to Idu. I'm not lying. Any factory you go to, the road is always bad. But that is where the tax comes from. They don't care. They don't care. You people don't write about it. You don't see it. I mean, make a yabu again. So, we pay implicit tax, which is almost about 30% of it. Then we go to the issue, and Dr. Akinwumi has said that even though the normal tax rate is low, we pay implicit tax. The bill they have in National Assembly now, I can tell you, if that bill passes, as you are here, the government can assess your tax and take your money even without your involvement. That's what they are trying to do. I'm happy at the wahala Mr. Dele is having in the National Assembly because he refused to involve us. He sat down with the government agents and the NSG, they wrote everything they wrote, and they started going back. He's still operating now as a parastatal. If they set you up as a committee, don't you have a timeline? He's still operating. And you people, it's a corruption. You must challenge them. So I don't even tell you what I'll do for you now. You want to make a stop? That's the make cocoa. Okay, let's go straight now to this issue of taxation. And I've told you that what happens is government, there's nothing like government money or public money when government awards contracts. In 1983, Margaret Thatcher told us at the Convention of Conservative Party, said, let's never forget this fundamental truth. The state has no source of money other than the money people earn themselves, and the state wishes to spend more. It can only do so by borrowing your savings. In Nigeria, they'll take our natural resources, our oil resources, our tax, or tax you more. So if you hear tomorrow, Tinubu awards 4 billion contract to one Indian, is your money. They will rather tax you more. That's why you see every government that comes in Nigeria, they don't see the bad road, they don't see the railway, they don't see the hospital, it's the tax they take first. They start making it to look like American system. Don't they see rails in America? Don't they see hospitals that work in America? So they can add it to the, that's why I told the guy, I said, if you finish this your committee, you will meet us in the fields. Who won't pay? We can only pay what we can pay. You can't force us. So it's a citizen's right and you can insist. So Margaret Thatcher has told you that government, each time government starts a project, is your money. So you have the right to be at the table. But unfortunately, we are not at the fact table where it is divided. So when they sit there, the 36 messiahs, one passed by this afternoon, and they sit with the Mr. President through their commissioners, they share the money. This money they collect from me and you as tax, they are supposed to reinvest in the productive sector, do more bridge, improve things so that we can increase our production. But they take money and share it. That's why you have Okowa has 1.3 trillion in EFCC writing statement now. Because when they take the money, there's no accountability. When they come for the next month, what you did with the last one. It is money in the back pocket. I can tell you, averagely, almost all the government, they live in Abuja. They don't even show up in their state. The Malam helps them to disburse. So as part of my recommendation from this meeting is that instead of giving them cash, since the money is for the state, give them bonds. Let them take bonds. At least let them award contract with the bond before it gets to the Malam. That's why I see every month when they share money, the Naira goes down, dollar goes up. Because the money is going to Dubai. It's going to all the things they do. So what it means is, if there's a delayed mechanism, you can also help us. So we that are paying the tax, we now go to the Malam to buy dollar. The man that we are spoon-feeding, somebody that is a parasite on us, the taxpayer, has changed my rate. That's why you are poor. That's why the goods are going up. This is the reason. So you don't need anybody to tell you all this. So and they say when government overtaxes you, government is trying to make you look small while they look bigger so that you can't fight back. So the other one is also the issue of this interpretation. I've told you, Akumi has talked about it, even the World Bank and everybody. Then the government tries to do what they call the policy blame game. Even if you check the last IMF and World Bank report, they even joined them too and said that, the policy issue recently, that this problem we met on the ground was so much, we had to do restructuring. Did you not campaign on it? You are almost at 2 years. You are still talking about Buhari. Haba. Maybe Buhari should have stayed with us then. So between me and you, this policy is bullshit. They have to do the right thing. And there need to be physical certainty. And very importantly, our structure of government is too expensive. We don't even need a bicameral legislator. Do you even know what the difference between the two? Apart from when they are approving their own salary. And when they are also doing Bobrisky hearing. Because there are about 18 million Nigerians, UNICEF says outside, the National Assembly was something of a national importance. That the girl did not sleep in the cell, he slept beside the cell. He did not say, okay, let's set up a committee. And they set it up. And you people went there to write. You didn't abuse them. Hey. So there's even another thing which I'll try and round up before I go to this thing. There are several other places, the structure of government. And there is one picture I have here. I was talking about the issue of our government and books. I heard there was a competition recently. They said I'm a lawyer, so don't go and I said, don't disbar me. There was a competition. They said the money, the bribe the police takes and custom is smaller than that of judges. I thought that was incredible. I said, this is not right. How can they talk about judges like this? Then I now saw something that happened. I think I have the picture here. They said they were pursuing a cow, or is it an elephant? And he now see a tortoise running. I said, tortoise, why are you running? He said, they are pursuing a cow. That's why I'm running. He said, but you are not a cow. He said, in Nigerian judiciary, if I take 20 years, if I go to court to determine whether I'm not a cow, so I have to run for my dear life. So I said that was not bad enough. Look at this. You are aware of the recent trial of those minors. What did the judge award? 10 million naira to release them. And you people done very well. This is one of your, I don't know who is bandit here, one of your cartoons. I had to steal it for this. He now showed where the ransom, there was a particular ransom where Boko Haram was asking for 10 million per child. So our judiciary is now equated with ransom taking. See, this is how bad it is. So, and I mentioned about Estonia, how our civil service are outdated. You can see Estonia, I can have a company, everything Estonia for you and do business in Estonia. I'll show you Indonesia, Rwanda, Botswana, what you can do. Then I've also let you know that I'm not talking about trying to put you down. Nigeria is a beautiful place. We are one of the smartest people in the world. I've mentioned you Dr. Akinwumi. I'll show you Okonjo-Iweala. On the Okonjo-Iweala, you'll see my picture with her. I went all the way to Geneva to take this one last year. So we are all working together. Then there's a Nigerian that is called Adewale Yusuf. He has a university online. The boy did not go to university, but he's disrupting university. He has 100,000 students with about 110 diseases. He's a Yoruba boy. He has tried to leave Lagos. I pinned it down that he cannot leave. He's all over the world. And he's doing very, very well. Even America has given him citizens because of it. They also have Dr. Sato Ame, who is doing what they call it, this thing for the American drones. All those drones you see in America, used by their military, is done by a Benin boy. So we are not as bad as we look. In fact, indeed, the private sector is strong. The problem we are having is policy. Look at what we are doing in the showbiz. Look at Innocent. Look at Dangote. The kind of factory, it's what we call an EPC factory, that refinery. He constructed it from ground. There is no other one like that in the world. It's one of the 8 wonders of the world. But then NPC does not like the color. That's the problem. So please beg them. Then you have Money Point. Oh, there are 8 unicorns in Africa. That means the company is worth more than $1 billion. 5 of them are from Nigeria. So what I'm trying to show you is that we are strong. We just need government to listen more to us. And maybe wed us in the open and let the business discuss in the private. They shouldn't follow us to the bedroom. So, and I'm now going to tell you the power of the media in addressing mismanagement. This is what I concern you. You say I must talk about this. Please just give me 5 more minutes, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, I hope I can. This is very important. I said, in this environment of significant mismanagement, a major national challenge, the role of the media becomes crucial. And the Nigerian Guild of Editors must assume a proactive. Don't wait for those your boys you normally send. You yourself will do investigation journalism. A proactive stand in advocating for public good. The media can help revive itself and public trust in institutions. And the path to sustainable growth are measured by what the Guild should do. And I've given 10 tips for sustainability. I will not go read all, but I say cultivating credibility. And I must tell you, I know some of you may not like this. Some of your biggest problem are your colleagues in government. You know. They are the ones that carry misinformation. They don't want the truth to be told. They come on your name, they call you, they call your editor. This boy has been promoted. So you must find a way to discipline every member that are in government who does not carry on the ethics. You expel them publicly. Let them know you don't care. There used to be one they say used to lie, but I'm not mentioning anybody's name. So you know what I'm saying is, if you cannot correct yourself, nobody will respect you. So your disciplinary procedures must be very clear and very well. If you have problems, we can join the MBA with you. They will teach you how to design everything if you don't have. So that when people know, when they go and collect pepper soup for a few months, they cannot bring down the house. So it's very important. Or even if they come back, no newspaper, no media must employ them. Let them stay where they are. if they know that it's a life journey. So it's very important. So you must also invest in research and investigative journalism. Attracting sponsors and revenue. A lot of you need to learn a lot from Nduka Bagbena. He's doing plenty of things. If you think the newspaper is selling alone and lie, you know. He's in media, it's everything. So you must also connect with international opportunities. It's very important. Take, for example, you have a lot of issues. You can get training and whatever. Then you want to leverage internet penetration. This is the first time I'm giving a lecture. There's no standard PowerPoint. You people fail for here. It's not my fault. I don't need to tell you. You must embrace technology. Some of you, you work in the houses. When we give you private job, you deploy your WhatsApp, you deploy your Instagram, but when you are working for your office, you use only the things that are provided, as if you want to prepare a death wish for someone. You don't do that. So always be creative. Try to sustain where you work, because if you live there, you will not be able to work for yourself. You must use the same talent you will use for other person. That's when it will work for you. If you think when you have your own, then you will now become Jesus. It's not going to happen. You will not even show up in your own work because you're not used to working. So please, you must also leverage internet penetration. We have 10 million now in Nigeria. That's very important. So tips for enhancing, I've already told you all the tips: encouraging collaboration, embrace digital. I've listed all of them there. I've already shared papers. And I've also shown you all these things I'm saying. I put the pictures for you to know. And it's from your newspapers I carry it. But you only write once, you stop. But we businessmen will keep it in our archive, digital archive. We just Google it, it will pop up. That's how I wrote the paper. Most of the things I did. So you must have a retrieval system where anybody needs information, or even the one listening to court. If I want to go to court now, sometimes they will ask you to give me the paper you published last week. You come and see struggle. It's not right. You can store this in a digital form and certify them and make money from that. So there's a call for action as we gather here today. I use this to recognize our shared responsibility to promote a better nation. The challenges we face are significant, but they are not insurmountable. Together, we can initiate essential conversations among ourselves. So what I'm saying, non-shell, is please don't stop doing things the way you used to do. Don't write anything about women or beauty every time. Look for those things that really make the difference. Expose corruption. Fight incompetence. Anything, not only from government, even from businesses. People sell fake products in this country. I've not seen any of you write so deep about it when NAFDAC is going. We just sit on television, crap, it's finished. You should follow the companies, people involved, and expose them. So these are important. And in conclusion, I want to assure you that we as business are ready to partner with you. And I fully appreciate what you've offered me this platform. And I want to end by saying that if men were angels, this was a quotation by President of the United States, James Madison, was the fourth president. He said, if men were angels, no government will be necessary. As they are doing the story now, they just use e-government. But Madison stated for that the people will have virtue and intelligence to select men of virtue and wisdom. You saw what happened yesterday in America. Do you know why Trump won? Who can tell me here? I'm rounding up. No, that's just one. They know what they'll get under Trump, but they didn't know what they'll get under Kamala. Saying that, there must be what they call national interest. When we are voting, we think about our village, our tribe, our church. These guys, so Trump had 30% of all the mad people who didn't go to school, all the crazies. They had another 20% of religious people who say a woman cannot stand up in the church. So those ones, you don't need to convert. The man got 50 already. He did not need to convert any of them. The economy was just a small bit. The real thing is people look for their interests. When they brought in Obama, America was going down. They needed a smart guy to take them back. They didn't like a black man. They just want who can do the job. So when you are canvassing for people who work for us, please, canvass for people that can do the job. Every time it's not a miloko. Yeah? It's not how the village, if there is problem with dollar now, it's not from your village. It's a national problem. So please, I want you to fight these things. Let's continue to fight until the president will hear that this man that is taking us to 50,000, let it stop at this 170 now, so that he can go and let us look for another that can help us. Because we are in trouble. Every day, you must pay for more oil. And that was why when the value of oil came down recently at 6%, because of the exchange rate, we did not have the impact in Nigeria. So the exchange rate has solved what would have been a gain to us. So this is a challenge, and we must all try and fight for Dangote. Not that I like him so much, but he represents a macroeconomic effect for some of our problems. And since a class war, they are all the party before, and they are fighting, and the thing that drove for the Agbada will be collecting and fueling our car until they realize we have moved Nigeria forward, and we are all happy where we are going. So, finally, James Madison said the people we have, they think they will be virtue. That's why they elect Trump now. Trump is the worst of the But where we are in a challenging situation, like in Nigeria today, without theoretical checks, listen to that word, no form of government can render us secure. Who is the theoretical checks? The fourth realm of the estate. It's there even in American Constitution, you're already there. And you are here, you are standing by the door. You are even afraid to knock. What is wrong? If you, the elders in the village, refuse to walk, how do you want the babies born today to crawl? Remember this every time when you are afraid to talk. There is nothing in this life. You talk, you die. You not talk, you die. We already died already. After all of us, our legs are broken. The petrol, the naira. So what is remaining again? Let us show up. People are crippled, but we have still standing. So please, I want a more proactive Nigerian Guild of Editors that is ready to change Nigeria for good. I sincerely thank all of you, and I assure you, anytime, any day, we are ready to support whatever initiative you are ready to adopt. Thank you very much.
Round of applause. Now, the chairman is not going to do any review or wrap up. If there are questions, please get us a microphone and hear from the audience questions.
The chairman has decreed 2 questions.
Yes, the man in red cap. Red cap chief.
Please, question, not...
No comment, questions. Because we are running out of time. We are after 3 to 4, and we are supposed to have lunch at 2.
Thank you very much. My name is Chuka Nnabuife. I want to thank you for that, what you did, for motivating us. But my question is, you were talking to us as if every one of us have the kind of knowledge you have on economic and industrial matters. We have several sectors within here. How often will people like you be able to enlighten us or get close to the newsrooms as to give us directions so that we follow your kicker? Thank you.
Yes. And then the man in white, yes.
Thank you very much, Keynote presenter. Yeah, my name is Master Mbamalo. I work for Prime Business Africa. My question, anchors on remedy, on solution for the media. The economy is tough. Everything is down, like you observed. And then what can the media do to, navigate this? Because but my specific question is on tax. For example, we're talking about government intervening to help the media business. How can government really intervene? Is it going to come in terms of tax structuring to ensure that, for instance, media houses can pay less of tax? Thank you.
Yeah, after him, today, Rahman. I want to go to this side. And then a lady.
Thank you very much. Mine is a question, actually, but I feel
it should be question. We don't want comment. Just ask your question.
I was going to ask that, is there anything that the media has not articulated?
You have not introduced yourself.
Okay, my name is Abraham Ogbodo. I was the editor of The Guardian. I'm asking, is there anything that the media, the Nigerian media, has not articulated and presented, which we need to do more? Because I feel that it's not about what the media has not done, but more about dealing with a system that is completely impervious. They don't listen. The Guardian, for instance...
Question. Go to your question. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. Well, in that case, I don't think I will have any other thing to say because I was actually going to give a basis because the Guardian.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. The Guardian did a series of editorial on restructuring that actually accumulated in a book. Has that restructuring been done? So the real issue is that we are up against an impervious system. And the question is, what else can we do to make that system to change? And not about the media doing so much, because the media has done really much and the media has suffered for doing too much. And so what else can be done to change the other side and not the media? Thank you very much.
And we'll go to the ladies there. Don't worry, I'm coming to you. Make it fast.
Mr. Chairman, this is not really a question, just a few elucidation. I like to say that going forward, when the Guild of Editors is organizing a conference and they are talking about issues of the economy, it will be very good and makes much sense to have people who are experts on the side of the government. For instance, if the CBN governor had been here, if the NNPC managing director had been here, you have a balanced view of some of the issues that have been raised here. Important issues that have been raised, you need the CBN governor to be able to explain to you what informed the need not to use money to defend the naira when we talk about foreign exchange. So I'm saying that for us to have a balanced view, to have the other side of the argument, the other side of the perspective, you need to bring officials that are involved in issues about the economy. I came here essentially as an editor, but I noticed that some of the comments Mr. Oye made are generalized statements. Generalized because, for instance, he talked about little engagement of stakeholders on when we are trying to take decisions. For instance, there are 4 bills on taxation before the National Assembly now. Legislative processes involve, having public hearing. People who have issues, reservations about the bill are free to go there and be part of, those decisions. Only recently, the president talked about all that he has been doing. He addressed the nation. There are challenges, but the people who are taking decisions are Nigerians, and they're also part of the process. They understand what we are going through, and there are reasons for taking those decisions that you have taken. This moment requires very hard decisions to be taken. You may not really understand what has informed some of this. Like the president said, when he came in, we virtually did not have an economy. And in order to be able to reset the economy, there are certain decisions that need to be taken. It will be very hard on all of us. We talked about poor management of Forex. I don't think there's poor management of Forex. I think it's a policy decision of the government not to use money to fund the naira as has been done in the past, and we have all seen what this has led us into. So I think that going forward, we need to have experts so that we look at those issues and have balanced view so that we are not taking for a ride. Because some of these things, I see Mr. Oye as kind of taking a populist statement, making populist speeches, populist position. But things are bad, are worse than that, and requires you to have experts who will tell you why they have taken the decision that they have taken. Thank you.
Now, I don't know, I'm going to allow one of the ladies because gender, although we are gentlemen of the press.
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
After this one,
there's just something I also need to clear, sir. The Minister of Budget and Planning was invited. The Minister of Information and National Orientation asked for a letter to him, which we did. But we don't know why he didn't come, because we also needed a government side to also be here. Thank you very much.
After the lady, I will not, because as you are coming to talk. But after her, because we want to take the second. Okay, Azu, okay, we are here. I'll call you. The allergy of the media. Okay, yes, madam.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. My name is Angela Agawike. ex-Daily Times. I now run a radio station in Owerri. And my question is this to the NACCIMA president, right? You know, every time, we know we do have a statutory responsibility to monitor the government on behalf of the people. But the question sometimes is, who monitors for the media? Who intervenes for the media? I'll tell you where I'm coming from. In terms of NACCIMA, you know, when you are in the media, when you run the media, because I'm on that side right now, running a broadcast institution, can we ask NACCIMA to intervene for the media with regards to some of the statutory payments it makes? Because we're given a responsibility, but we are not assisted in performing those responsibilities. If you talk about broadcasting in terms of licensing, you find out that the people who can actually afford it are those who have pots of money, politicians, not the professionals. And yet, the professionals are held responsible when anything goes wrong. Diesel, buying of diesel, you know, all these things we used to do, perform our responsibilities. Can NACCIMA intervene on behalf of the media and ask for something to be done to enable the media to do its job effectively? Thank you.
Okay, Azu, the last one, because we are going to the second paper now. Azu, last question. I'm sorry to cut you short. We are going straight to the second session. I beg you.
Thank you, Aremo. Thank you so much, Mr. Oye. My name is Azu Ishekune. So my question is direct to you, Mr. Just one question. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, that's fine. So the question is, you mentioned... Yes, okay, so Mr. Oye, my question is this. Could you mention specific policies that you would like the government to... Specific policies. You mentioned one, but I do not think one is sufficient. Could you mention specific policies that you would recommend to the government? You talked about bonds. I'm talking now about management of the foreign exchange. You know, you talked about bonds as one possible area that the government could use to stop some state governors who go straight to the black market, for example, that they could use bonds instead of just giving them cash, you know, as a mechanism for managing forex. But could you mention other specific interventions that you recommend to the government? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I want to start with Mr. Rahman. First of all, as a Chamber of Commerce, I will never criticize government publicly unless I've engaged privately. Because when I go abroad, there's nothing as bad as somebody confronting you with your own press statement. I ask you, I had to ask for investment. What about this you said? So going about engaging with government, all of you can Google me. You see everything I've spoken here, I've engaged. The only time I talk in the press is when government takes a decision that is contrary to what we agree. Sometimes they will even beg me privately and say, Dele, give us some time. Don't talk in 2 weeks. Let us try and see what we can do. I met the president during the iftar dinner. He told me that, please, come. We need to be having quarterly meeting. That was what I was asking Egbon sat beside me. He said, yes, he will remind him. President took my card and gave to someone and said, next week, come. I called that person and said, unless the president tells him, he cannot tell. I said, but the president said I should come. That's one. The CBN governor, I've met him. I've sat with him. Even on this 2.4 billion, if you Google, I dragged him to National Assembly. Before now he changed his mind. He said we should go to EFCC before, that he would not pay. He lied to the president that he has resolved all outstanding payments. That was why the president in Independence Day anniversary said he has paid all the claims. If you Google now, CBN has started reconsidering it. Because I took him to National Assembly, he could not even defend himself there. So where I'm going is, we've engaged privately, we met with him in his office. He told all of us that we should go to police. And I said, this is a civil transaction. You don't report yourself in a civil transaction to a police. I didn't abuse him there because there were some white men there. I wrote after that. I said, this thing you are asking is unconstitutional. You cannot ask me. I'll share the letter with you. You are my friend. So that you see. I've written to him on several issues. This issue of giving bond to state governments where businesses cannot get loan. I wrote to him, refused. I wrote to Dele Alake. Dele Alake wrote to him and said he should reply me. And when he replied me in a 2-page letter, he replied me with 12 pages. If I reply him, we don't have a CBN governor because he was talking rubbish. He didn't even understand what he was talking about. Let me tell you, if you hire somebody for a job, it's like if he's a doctor now, and the patient is still about to die, do you keep him? You change. I'm not asking for his job, but the procedure they adopted in central bank, we don't have the fundamentals in Nigeria to use to do business. You cannot say Lord first to say, let me even tell you what the government does, which is very bad. If you want to bring down the exchange rate, I'll suggest something. When they got the money from aphorism, what was the government supposed to do? That is what they call cash expansion. You understand? You are bringing a new injection, money you did not normally have. What does the government do? The government will look at people like this and decide who to give it to. Why don't they go to PZ? Why don't they come to Dele and say, I have $3 billion, come and bid for it? If you do that, the dollar will fall. But the government sees a loan without the private sector and allocates the money. This is the problem. How can I trust your process when you don't involve me? They don't involve us. The CBN cannot be spending our money without our involvement. We are the one that pays the tax. Let them be more transparent. That's what I'm asking for. And I've written to them, I've asked them, and you both should ask the same question. As a taxpayer, they should tell us what they do with that money. Please. Then the issue of how to bring down interest rate in Nigeria is the easiest. Do you know why? This is one of the reasons you don't have bankers in central bank. Bankers like interest. This interest that is going up, who is the highest payer of interest? Who? It's government. That's why they will buy bond. When you buy bond, let me tell you so I can understand what I'm trying to say. If you buy bond today, you few that buy bond, you can still use that bond as a collateral to borrow another money. That is, your money is working in two places. So instead of the bank to fund me, and bond price now is gone over 20%, they will buy bond. They use that bond money again to borrow from another foreign bank. They are using money 2 times. If they give to Dele, you know that we are likely to end up in court. If the kind of policies we are seeing now, my business fails, they will not give me. So what happens is, Zenith Bank has just, in 9 months now, have just declared 1 trillion naira without funding anybody. Go and check. Let them bring the list of the companies they fund to make that profit. It's bond. It's rent seeking. That kind of system will kill the country. You are not developing the country. You are only making profit. It is the same thing Ipman is asking for. They want to go and buy oil abroad when they have here. So do you need me to go and ask Ipman or NNPC why they are not buying from Dangote? How can president 3-4 times, the vice president, say, go to Dangote? They refuse. Who the hell is carrying? Where are they getting the dollars from? This is what I'm asking. You should ask the questions. So they should ask. So it's not about putting anybody down. The policy is anti-business, is against the sustenance of the exchange rates. That's what I'm saying. You have to bring the money to the business. Call NACCIMA, call MAN, call all your big business and say, we have $3 billion, which we just got with our oil money from Frezin. You people should bid for it. It doesn't happen that way. The same government decide who gets what. They don't have that right. That's what I'm saying. They don't have it.
Okay.
So we go straight to other issues. Let me just try and finish. Quickly. The other issue is the issue of that you don't have knowledge. Let me teach you one thing. It's very important. There is University of the Internet. It is called AI. I'm not an economist, but I have to train myself to beat them in their own game. You must learn, teach yourself. In 5 years ago, you won't call a NACCIMA president here. It's because of the work you see I'm doing. That's why I invited you. So you start first by self-development. All of us may not be that smart. Some of you are very good as graphic artists. You have different skills. Be best at what you do. When I enter in the room with all the CBN governor, everything, I beat them down. I asked them I asked the CBN governor once a question. I said, this system you are using for Nigeria, show where it has worked before. He said, no, we are just trying. If this will not work, we'll try this. I said, how do business now calculate? There is no fiscal policy for 2024. You set up a committee or a Dele committee. There is no fiscal policy for 2024. What the fiscal committee means is that is the parameters which government policy will go within a year. It normally released with budget. So that when you want to plug in as a business, you will know that by December, exchange rate will be this, or oil price will be that. You know how much to invest in the economy. But when you don't have it, you go. So we go to the issue of, sorry, I'm not trying to, as we check on it, you said specifically, I've mentioned some now. There are many more. I can print down the interest rate. I have the formula. You can see me after. If you send me a WhatsApp, my number is on this. I will share with you the formula. It's easy. The problem we have is rent seeking. The bank, the system pays the central bank and the commercial banks. They are all making money, and government is the one paying the interest to them. They don't want to borrow to me and you. That is the problem.
Mr. President has suggested that the day is fast spent. Our lunch is getting stale. So he has advised that Taiwo Obe, who is supposed to speak next, will take him on tomorrow. And therefore, we'll take 2 more questions so that we round this up today on the instruction of my president. Funke Faduba. Yes, we wanted to ask a question. Who else wants one question more?
My name is Funke Faduba.
You have spoken.
Mr. Oye.
Yes, go on.
My question is that he has complained about the CBN governor. Somebody employed the CBN governor. Somebody employed the NNPCL GMD. If they are not performing according to my goal, who should we blame? They or the person who employed them? Thank you.
What are you saying? The lady, wait. Huh? Wait. Don't, you are walking to the stage. You don't have to walk here. Stay. No, okay, we will take it later. Wait. Give it to him. You don't have to walk to the stage. No, I'm sorry. I can hear you. Okay.
Mine is a response to what my brother Alhaji Tunde Rahman said.
What's your name?
Ayo Aminu is my name. I work with New Telegraph newspaper. I'm going to give us 2 instances. One, you can't float the exchange rate and at the same time remove subsidy. Both are interrelated. You have to leave one and do the other. And that's on one side. Then 2 weeks ago, I was opportune to attend the World Bank IMF meeting in Washington, D.C.
Taiwo Obe and Dimeji, please, I beg you.
And at an investors forum, this was not meant for journalists. Somebody from Standard Chartered Bank.
You are right. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you. You have been cooperative so far. Please let us end it. Thank you very much.
Someone from Standard Chartered Bank posed a question to both the CBN governor and the finance minister, and they could not answer it. And I will raise that question. They said, these are people that deal with government on a daily basis. They said, from their own research and from their own understanding, that 40% of banks' deposits are dollarized. And that it appears Nigerians don't believe in the naira. That's our currency. That any little change that they don't want to use immediately, they convert it to dollar as store. That what is the Nigerian government doing to resolve this issue? And our people could not answer to it. Thank you.
That will be the last question. Last question, please. Last question.
Thank you. Well, my name is Bon Woke. I'm former general manager of Atlantic Television and Wish 99.5 FM. And I'm currently a media consultant. I'm a media consultant. Okay, my question is based on the issue of survival. Because when I see NACCIMA, when I heard that you are the president of NACCIMA, I got excited. I got excited because we have had this problem of survival of media organizations. You're talking about the media should be active, the media should be this. The problem the media currently has is struggling to survive. Just a few months ago, I just left the office as general manager of a radio and TV station. And I know it's a private station. I know how much we're struggling to survive. And in various states of the federation, you have your other branches. For Port Harcourt, you have FACIMA and all that. And we've had this issue of Bank of Industry intervening in issues of giving loans to organizations, business organizations, SMEs and all that. Mediapreneurs don't seem to have been seen to have benefited from this kind of gesture to assist loan facilities. What is the relationship between NACCIMA, FACIMA, and all the Chamber of Commerces, if I can use that word, across the Federation and the Bank of Industry? And how can you help to assist media organizations, mediapreneurs, to access loan facilities so they can survive? Because we see this thing in Port Harcourt, for example. Recently, I saw a program on a Bank of Industry, and they were talking about how they help people to establish restaurants and all that. I never hear of any, testimony, as it were, of Bank of Industry assisting mediapreneurs to set up to boost their businesses.
Well, just to start from the last one of the advantages of belonging to associations like this is that the difference between you and an individual is that if I approach Bank of Industry now and say I want a loan, it will bring out the terms. I will say this is not acceptable to our organization. The fight will start there. And they'll say, don't make noise. How can we do it? So you need this type of relationship and interaction to expand your cost. Because if you look at the mandate of some of these organizations, it doesn't include you. And you need to fight for it. Nobody got anything or got there for free. Because even before, the mandate of the Bank of Industry was heavily restricted. And we insist. I'm not saying I'm having a fair shake. Because in those days, both NACCIMA or MAN used to be on the board. But now it's only MAN that is on Bank of Industry. But they know that the day Dele is coming, they will open the door. Because I will not take no for an answer. So you need to organize yourself, articulate what you want, and tell the Minister of Information that this is the challenge. Get a Accenture or one of these accounting companies. Take them as an association. They will look at your business case and make a bankable presentation on your behalf. I will not encourage you to go and borrow money without knowledge. Because money is very, very risky. You can lose all your previous efforts if you don't understand what you want to do with money. A good example is you want to build a house now. At foundation, you go and take loan. You know you are building for the bank. At 36 to 40%, before you reach it, they will sell it. So you need financial engineering, people to tell you, to advise you against even your stubbornness before you accept what to do. This is very important. We are ready to work with you. We have started this marriage. And I can tell you, even if I leave NACCIMA as long as there, you have your in-house. It doesn't have to be with cameras. We can do seminars. We can be on Zoom. You can be on anything. We'll do case study. We'll show you our strategies. And I can also tell you what we are doing now, which you can easily benefit from. I've told you before, I say if you are not making dollar, you are not existing in Nigeria today. I'm serious. We have what we call the Next Hub. On the 2nd of October this year, I moved 15 containers to China. I have an office in China for NACCIMA. And we are bringing there's even a fund in Exim Bank for women. And you'll say, I'm not a woman. It's simple. Your company put your wife as the chairman and you are the CEO. You are working for a female organization. You can access that loan. Forget about your pride. Put your mother's name if you don't trust mother enough. Put your mother's name and go there and say you are a staff of your mother. You access the loan. If you don't know, come, I'll teach you. So And in that next hub, if you join, to send one container abroad is 100,000. You don't need to have license by going to NEPC or anything. We will train you. We will show you what goods to buy, what to. Even if you don't have money, you go to NACCIMA. They will still train you first. They will tell you what to do. Some people just give us information. We buy their this thing. And I can tell you one unique thing we did for the first time. For the first time, we have officially, not this one the Chinese are doing, moving solid minerals to China called mica. After we put a no beneficiation. And I'm using my relationship with the ministry to make sure this is done openly and transparently so that the illegality that involves in that industry, because a lot of people are sitting on solid minerals, they don't know where to sell, until the Chinese will come and buy it, give away. We are trying to open it up so that people can de-risk that sector, so that all of us can have access to the opportunities in our various communities. So there are many initiatives we are doing. So if you need more information about business, how to restructure, or issue of a newspaper, as I've told you, your highest selling point is regulation, self-regulation. Self-regulation. Where all the people doing 419, collecting money from people and writing fake story, you should be able to discipline them in-house. If you don't start that, somebody else will discipline you. But you see VDN, what they call him now, the man has more people, followers than all of us in this room. Oh. He's not a journalist, but he's doing your job. He's doing investigative journalism. Look at that boy in Ghana, how he was exposing corruption. Do you know how much funding that boy is getting from foreign people to expose corruption? The biggest business is to expose corruption, ineptitude, accountability. If you do it, all those NGOs will fund the organization. You have a new stream of income. So you have to be creative, go outside the box. Stop publishing things that will make people laugh. Focus on the things that will change Nigeria. I'm not here to say the government has done this or not done this. It's about changing your own strategy. Then the lady that talked about, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not trying to run up. She said I did not ask her about specific policies as well I can share with you. I have policies on every, I can bring that interest to 12%. It's very easy. The money they gave those governors then, instead of the governors going to COA to go and use it to contest now, it should have put that money to pay down all their bonds. If they pay down those loans, the financial market will crash. And CBN will have a policy of buying back excess money. And when CBN buys back like that, they will be begging me and you to come and borrow. Because you can also, I sat down with CBN government, I asked him, why don't you stop governors from borrowing? That they are taking the money from us. He said, that's a constitutional issue. I said, it's very easy. You don't need to talk to the governors. Talk to your bankers and give them, say, you cannot do more than 5% of public sector. If you go to UBA as a governor and say, I cannot do more than 5%, will you borrow? You can't. So there's not a constitutional issue. So there are many ways. They should engage us. Let's see that as equals. Because when they come to you, they want you to be shaking. I couldn't do that. And I tell them that I'm a business, I've done well. I cannot genuflect for them. So you must go there too. So it's very important that we all have, first of all, build yourself, build your capacity, change your ways, and focus on what you want to do. Then the lady that talk about this, I can talk to you. My number is on this. I can share information with you on your question. Thank you, sir.